This is the original esport racing game. This is iRacing.
The stakes have never been higher. The competition has never been stronger. 42 drivers, 25 rounds. One will be crowned champion. Competition. Commitment, excitement. This is Lionheart. You're watching the premier American Open Wheel Series on iRacing. The Lionheart IndyCar Series presented by First Medical Equipment starts now.
Sponsored by First Medical Equipment. Competition, commitment, excitement. This is Lionheart. This tricky oval corners go turn 2 at New Hampshire Motor Speedway is one that has become somewhat infamous. Whether it was Scott Sharp using Mike Groff as a launching ramp in 94 or Tony Kanaan taking out a portable washroom in 2011, the exit of turn 2 has been treacherous in the real world, and well, it's also been host to dramatic moments here in the Lionheart IndyCar Series. Brian Yazek spun out on the lead in Season 5, while that same year, Andrew Kinsella used 2 passes in that same spot to win his second Lionheart Series victory. 2 things are certain going into this week. The 1 Mile Oval has produced some action-packed races, and the Skidmark Motorsports 200 may be the best name on the Lionheart 2019 schedule. Tonight, all of the simulated Dallara IR18 action of the Skidmark 200 in New Hampshire Motor Speedway will be live as it happens, right here on the iRacing Esports Network. From the Granite State, hello and welcome to another GSRC broadcast and the Sim Experience Countdown to Green. Over the next 15 minutes, GSRC will bring you all the storylines, all the stats and facts we'll need to appreciate the Skidmark 200 at New Hampshire Motor Speedway. That will immediately follow as we count down to green. Coming at you live tonight, my partner, Richie Hearn, a man who owns the fastest lap at Chicagoland Speedway. Not just in an IndyCar, but in any car, folks. Remember that. So he sits alongside me. I'm Sean Ambrose, back with you this week. I'm Jed Yaman, back there twisting and tweaking the dials for us, armed with cameras locked and loaded by the great, the one and only Dougie Beard. New Hampshire Motor Speedway, Richie, you got to enjoy this track back in 96. Tell us real quickly before you tell us a little bit about the track, how little reaction time do you actually have left here when you're on the track at full speed?
Thank you, Sean. Yeah, at New Hampshire Motor Speedway, it's a very fast little gem up in the northeast there. It's basically a much quicker version of Milwaukee, I would say, shaped like a paper clip, and fairly flat. You can see it's got progressive braking, banking 2 to 7 degrees in the turns, but about 1 degree on the straightaways. It has multiple race lines, so hopefully we'll get some good racing here. You can run about 2 or 3 different lines in the corners, but that turn 2 is really tricky as you kind of come in wide, but that wall comes up to you really quick. One thing we're going to have to point out too, also the pit lane exit as you go onto the track, it just tightens up right and pinches you up right against the wall. So that's going to be something to watch as we get through the race. But probably for the best way for most of you folks to see what it's really like to drive an IndyCar around here is to jump on board that GSRC lap guide.
Hello everyone, welcome to the Global Sim Racing Channel. I'm Brian Yazek, taking you for a spin around the New Hampshire Motor Speedway in the GSRC IR18 IndyCar. Without further ado, here we go around the Magic Mile, as it is so affectionately called. Hot lapping, you're going to want to try to get in, take a wide entry, and then bring it all the way down to that, just about that bottom stripe right there. Get any lower than that, there's actually a change in the banking that will just spin your car right out like a top. 3 and 4, same thing. Take a wider entry, find that almost bottom seam, let it rotate around, and then drive it right off of the corner. Now, Loud's not really known for multi-groove racing, but in these cars, in the search for clean air, you could see guys hover right up above that gray, kind of in that darker gray. See if they can get some bite off of the corner. It might work, it might not. As the race plays out, we will see. Down at turns 3 and 4, not going to see too much. You're going to see him kind of maybe up a lane or so, and then try and take a late entry and diamond off, and hope that the guy in front of you has his issues. Off of 4 across the line. That's going to complete our guide here around New Hampshire Motor Speedway. I'm Brian Yazek. Enjoy the show.
And there we have a couple laps around New Hampshire Motor Speedway. As you can see, those long straightaways causes you to enter these corners super, super fast, but those corners tighten up at the exit. The countdown to green is brought to you by Sim Experience, the team behind the AccuForce Pro V2 direct drive steering systems. By providing unparalleled realism and the most advanced tuning features on the market, the AccuForce provides a significant advantage to any sim racer. It can also make for an effective training tool for real-world drivers. For more information on the entire Sim Experience ecosystem, including their GS5 seat, stage series motion systems, and the SimVibe software, visit www.simexperience.com and use this promo code SimXLion to get 5% off SimVibe software.
All right, Richie, that's my cue to step in and talk about the driver standings. And, well, of course, those are always brought to you here by First Medical Equipment. And, well, the results from Road America leave Adam Blocker really needing an 8th place finish or better tonight at New Hampshire to clinch back-to-back championships. That's really where it sits with him at the top. Now, Dan Guerin is 224 points back, while Andrew Kinsella is further 136 points back at Guerin. Now, Kinsella, with bad luck by Guerin and a great run by him, could in fact get him to 2nd place, but we'll have to see. What's really going on here is 3rd through 6th, and the battle we've got there, that's really the great battle we're going to have left. It's Kinsella leading Larkamp by a mere 18 points, while Justin Weaver and Yazek are both 36 points back of Larkamp. So plenty of opportunity still left, Richie, for them to maybe make a move here and flip over some of those positions before we get done with this season. Now, let's take a look at the Plasma Track team standings. And, well, Adrenaline, based on those performances last week there in Road America, well, they're going to run away with this team championship. But Synergy East holds down 2nd and pretty much safe there in 2nd. It's the battle still for 3rd and 4th is close enough. Skidmark did slide down literally just a little bit in the points there, but still reachable here with a few races left there in your top 5 for the team standings. Richie, how are things looking in these rookie standings this season?
Yeah, let's bring those up here. And these rookie standings are brought to you by Butt Kicker. And really, this is where the championship's been exciting all year long. This has been bouncing around all over the place, and it's really come down to 3 contenders with Rigney, Martinez, and Hill jumping around. Hill's doing a great job with just his consistency, getting closer and closer. Back at Road America, Mike Rigney, had a netcode event and really lost a lot of points there to Martinez, who actually spun out on his own, but then came back and had a good, strong run there. And John Hill's only 9 points further back. So I think this is going to go all the way down to the wire, as it's been pretty exciting all year. So we'll keep an eye on that for sure.
And Richie, practice wrapping up, getting ready to do the qualifying. I want to tell you, everybody, real quick here, the best of the best in the iRacing World Championships, as well as many of the top private leagues like the one you're watching right now, are showcased right here on the iRacing Esports Network. If you haven't done so yet, subscribe to the iRacing Esports Network. And while you're at it, maybe find the Global Sim Racing channel here on YouTube. Give them a subscription too. Considered the premier fixed setup racing league for the Dallara IR18 on the iRacing service, the Lionheart IndyCar Series honors the memory of the late Dan Weldon, and they proudly carry that name, Lionheart, have for many years now. Richie, a lot of fans tuning in probably for the first time tonight. Why don't you go over the series and race details for us?
Yeah, absolutely. And these series details come to us thanks to Minus 273, the premier name in karting gloves. For more information on Minus 273's full line of gloves and apparel, visit minus273.biz. Use the promo code LHRS for 25% off all orders. And the series details, here we are, Season 7 of the Lionheart IndyCar Series, working round 22 of 25 with 3 driver drops in the season. Of course, we're running the Dallara IR18. The setups are fixed, but they have been adjusted to make the cars hopefully a little raceable, as makes them a little more fun to drive. And we're working on cash and prizes for the year, totaling $9,652.
That's a bit of money, Richie, and already we have started here in qualifying. Dan Guerin just takes a fast lap on board with Brian Beard in the Skidmark Motorsports onboard camera. Shallon just goes fastest, and they are burning him down here pretty quickly. Only 3 minutes left in this qualifying session, 5 minutes to qualify.
Yeah, those, you can see those lap times. They get around this track, this 1 mile oval, pretty quickly. Lap times right around the 21.5 second bracket. This is going to be pretty close up front. You know, right now, Schoen's up front with 21.51, and Dan Guerin's sitting next to him at a 21.58. Got a good field here. Got Sage Cameron's back in the mix for this one, so we'll see how he runs. But
Yes.
it's going to be a tough one. It's going to be a tough race. I think track position and just kind of surviving for a while is going to be the key.
Looks like we're going to have 29 cars. I know Chris Reagan is making his debut tonight in the IndyCar series. He's been running over on the retro side in the Lotus 79s, and George is telling me the kids had good speed, so they brought him over. They're going to give him a run tonight, and right now that leaves us at 29 here at New Hampshire, and with laps just over 21 seconds. Richie, it won't take long to get through these laps if they keep it green. Last year, it was a fuel strategy race. Any chance we see that again tonight?
I hope so. That always makes it fun for us to guess on what's going on, and I would definitely love to see some full green flag stops. As I mentioned before, that pit lane entrance and exit is very tricky here. And just mentioning on Chris Reagan, he is a friend of mine. I work with him out at the Corvette, at the Ron Fellows Corvette School, and he's been working real hard to do the best he can out there. And I know he's really nervous that I'm broadcasting, so if he makes a mistake, they don't call him out. So. He's got a lot. He's very competitive, and he's done a really good job. So hopefully he has a nice, clean race here. And he just put it 7th on the grid at the moment.
As we were talking about him, he does put it up P7. So nice run there by him. And well, you said it just a moment ago. I really think qualifying and where you start this race is going to be very, very important in the early stages here, especially if there's the threat of any real trouble. Which, let's face it, there is.
Yeah, I mean, it's just one of those places that, if you're starting in the mid-pack, anything that happens, there's a good chance you're going to get caught up into it. So the farther up you can start, the safer you are. And we'll see. That the car's tricky to drive. The tires take a little bit to get up to temperature. So hopefully they take it easy and kind of get find a good rhythm with everybody.
Richie, when you ran here, it was about 170, 175 miles an hour around here at top speed. That's just got to be. How much of the track do you actually see at that kind of speed here on such a small track?
Well, it comes at you pretty quickly, that's for sure. And it's really one of those places that you got to commit to because you kind of drive into the corners full throttle. You just turn in and then you got to lift at some point to let it rotate. But, when you're driving into the corner at, 210, something like that, 200 miles an hour, it takes some, I don't know, maybe a little stupidity to do that. But I always felt good driving here, always had a good run. And, it was a good place to me.
Oh, maybe we get a chance to talk about that a little bit more later. Let's go to the starting grid. It's time. Tony Schowen gets the pole tonight, Richie, with Adam Blocker sitting on the front row with him. And then we go to Dan Garrett, Justin Weaver on row 2, Brian Yaz, on row 3 with Mike Rigney. Row 4, going to see Chris Reagan start that P7 spot right alongside Tyler Groff. Row 5, going to be Andrew Kinsella and David Clymer will start 10th.
Yeah, starting 11th, it's going to be Dustin Wardlow, and right next to him will be Chris Stouffer. Starting 13th will be Chris Lanini and Connor Harrington in the 14th spot. 15th is going to be David Altman and Mark Cohn starting 16th. 17th will be Ron Hacker and Joe Branch right next to him in 18th. Starting 19th will be George Anzaldo, and starting 20th will be Paul Jenkins.
Well, our good friend and fellow commentator here at GSRC, Sam Ryman, going to start 21st tonight, right alongside Brandon Limkeman. From First Medical Equipment, row 12, Stephen Larkamp. Big Joe Hassert, the Big Joe Show, starting P24 tonight, row 13, Damon Martinez and Brian Beard. Row 14 is Bart Workman in the 09, and John Hill in the number 84. And Sage Karam going to start at the back end of this field here in 29th tonight.
The skid mark.
Oh, go ahead.
Back there. I was just going to say, real surprise to see Damon Martinez, our Rookie of the Year championship contender, starting all the way back there in 25th. So he's got a long road ahead of him for tonight.
He certainly does, Richie. A long road ahead of him here in the Skid Mark Motorsports 200 New Hampshire Motor Speedway, folks. We're ready. The cars are ready. Everybody's on the grid. We're going to take a, let's see, this is, we'll have one quick pace lap here, I think. Do our onboard cameras here real quick. Brian Beard in that Skid Mark Motorsports onboard camera tonight. We thank them for sponsoring this race here in the Lionheart IndyCar Series. And then we'll move on to Mark Cohn, who is in the Clipping That Apex, clippingthatapex.com. Clipping That Apex, your home for custom motorsports art. And then there's Tyler Groff and the number 26. He'll have another onboard camera this week. This week, it's the minus 273 onboard camera. For more information on minus 273's full line of gloves and apparel, visit www.minus273.biz. Don't forget to also use LHRS for 25% off all orders. Folks, it's time. 190 laps here this evening, and we're ready to go. We've got a 77-degree track. The pace car's pulling off. Tony Schowen's got the field, and he's gone. We're mean green and underway here at New Hampshire Motor Speedway and the Skid Mark Motorsports 200.
Everybody
Second
trying to sort out. I was going to say, just you can see how everybody fans out in the corner, but single files down the straight. The draft is strong here, but the key is getting that front grip into the corner, getting the air on that front wing, be able to get that car turned. So it looks so far so good. Everybody's taking it easy for that 77-degree track temp. It's going to take a few laps to really get their feet underneath them.
Yeah, and Blocker took a look early there on lap 1 into lap 2 and then decided to back out of it. He really wanted to try and get Dan early, but that air you talked about, Richie, it got to him quick, and he just, like I said, decided to back out of it. Now he got another run. They're off of 4 at Dan coming into 1. But then this is the tricky turn 2 we talk about here. We're getting off that exit, so important. Blocker rolls up the track right off the rear gearbox of Dan Garrett.
Yeah, it looked like he had a good position. Now he's going to drive down to the bottom here. It is a little flatter down there, so you don't have the the help of the banking, you can see how Dan Guerin just kind of keeps that momentum and just is able to hold that position. So passing is going to be tricky here. You got to really have to earn it.
All right, it gets really crazy when you get back to P7 where we've got Tyler Graff and Chris Reagan both going at it, and Reagan just gets by him there.
Yeah, you can see Chris doing the same thing as Dan, just kind of running to that high line, forcing those guys down below, and they just can't quite keep the momentum. And unfortunately, that's bringing in David Clymer and Andrew Kinsella, all these guys into the mix. So we've got quite a pack going on here for that 7th spot.
That is quite a gaggle. Go a little bit back further, back to 11th. Harrington and Stouffer back there mixing it up. Harrington just got by. Kinsella making the move down low. We got a caution.
Oh, no. Caution out.
Oh, and it's
Ron Hacker.
big one. Ron Hacker. Looks like that happened coming out of turn 4.
Yeah, it looks like someone got into the side of him and
might have been
just got up in the side. It looks like maybe a.
Oh, actually, Richie, I think it might have been Jenkins. You know, maybe even a little bit of net code. I'm not quite positive.
Yeah.
Here's the onboard.
I think you're right. I think a little bit of net code. Doesn't look like they actually make contact, but you're going to see him kind of wash up and just. Yeah, that's unfortunate for Ron Hacker. That's going to be the end of his night.
That's certainly going to be end of his night. That car obviously badly damaged. Several drivers getting pretty lucky, pretty fortunate to get through there.
Yeah, it could have been a lot worse. Just a one-car incident. It could have taken out 4 or 5. But right now, early caution, lap 7. I don't see anybody taking any spots down the pit lane. Maybe one in the back there. Somebody's coming in, going to take a chance on opening up that pit window. But
I'm seeing.
I think track position's so tough that you're not going to want to try to pit too early if you're running closer to the front.
Yeah, and so we got 7, or really 6 full laps, 6 full angry laps in there. Sage Karam picks up 10 spots in those 6 laps. So with several drivers coming into the pits now, he finds himself up to P17. He'll start right alongside George Anzaldo to restart this race when we get it going again here. But Adam Blocker gets a chance to get another run here at Dan Guerin and maybe get back up there with Chowan and fight for the restart on this lead of this race early. Still a long way to go here.
Yeah, these restarts might be the best chance to really make some moves as you're not quite up to speed. So we'll see what Adam Blocker has in mind for Dan Guerin, but we saw how hard it is to get by once everybody's kind of up into their mojo.
Well, mojo pretty important here, or luck, or voodoo doll, whatever you need. If this is kind of an indication of how this race is going to go, you better have whatever luck you've got close to you, because everybody's going to need it.
Yeah, you got to be good, but you got to have some luck on your side as well.
Yeah.
And got a long ways to go, but so far it's been pretty good.
Here we go, Richie. Single file restart, of course. Tony Chowan still has his field. Pace car gets ready to pull off. Wait for the green flag to drop. Chowan holds him tight, and now he's on the loud pedal across the start-finish line here at New Hampshire Motor Speedway. Chowan will take him down into 1.
Yeah, he has the advantage of having clean air, and right back in the back, I'm seeing some moves going with right around Christopher Reagan and Mike Rigney battling it out.
Yeah,
that,
Rigney.
Yep.
Rigney took a lunge at him there, and they kind of backed out of it, trying to maybe reset another run at him. But looks like Chris is getting away and actually working on the back of Brian Yazik now.
Yeah, Chris is doing a good job up 1 position, just kind of holding his own. up front. Tony Shallon's got that clean air, so he's able to gap Dan Guerin a little bit. Adam Blocker didn't get much of a start, or as good a start as I thought he was going to be. He's not really challenging for Dan Guerin just yet. But really, just like before, these top 5 spots, and then we get back to 6th spot, and it becomes quite a mess with Rigney still trying to get around Chris.
Sorry, Richie Reagan just gets around the outside of Rigney, and he's bringing Kinsella with him. Kinsella not getting around Rigney. Whoa, Kinsella almost up into the wall there coming out of 4.
Yeah, that was a little close, and really that's the pass you want to be able to make, to be able to hold those high line. You can see the momentum that Kinsella's got. He's going to go around the outside of Chris at the moment.
Ooh, on board.
Oh man, it's tight, isn't it? It's
yeah,
tight
it really
getting off
is.
those corners. But you got to really carry that throttle off the corner, and so you need to use every ounce of pavement. But it does tighten up on you, so you got to be careful. And got quite a battle here. As Mike Rigney's now going to try to go on the inside of Reagan. And Reagan's going to be able to hold on the outside, though. He's not going to be able to get by him.
Ooh, Reagan giving him the business, man. He's not taking anything from him there.
No, and right behind them is David Clymer. He just about got in the back of Rigney.
Oh.
Rigney's running for that Rookie of the Year championship, so he's got to be careful as his closest companion is back in 19th.
And he's back there battling with Clymer, and Clymer's on his car there for a moment. Looked a little out of shape. And then coming into the pictures, Connor Harrington, it almost looked like he was going to try and make it through. Right, Harrington to the wall.
Here's exactly what we're talking about. And he's broken. He's going to come out of this corner, get up wide. We talked about that, exit of turn 2, and he's done.
Wow. And just like that, it's not on me. Oh, we missed it, but Yazik. I'm sorry. Go ahead, Richie.
No. Go ahead.
I was going to say, Yazik just took a run at Dan Guerin, and it had to get all the way out of the throttle. That's brought Justin Weaver right up the backside of Yazik.
And somehow when we were watching all this, Adam Blocker did get by Dan Guerin, and he has gapped Dan Guerin by quite a bit. So I don't know if something happened, but we missed that pass.
Yeah, and that's developed into this battle now that I picked up on, and that was Guerin falling back to Yazik, and now here comes Andrew Kinsella. That's a 4-way battle now. As we go on forward here.
A 4-way battle for 3rd spot. Dan Guerin holding down 3rd, but Brian Yazik's really hungry to get by. He's going to try to go on the inside into turn 3. He's going to have the position going in, but he's not going to be able to carry that momentum.
Like it was Stephen Larkamp, spins right down in the bottom of the turn all by himself. Here is the replay. And there wasn't any net code, nothing involved with this. That car looked like it tightened up on him there, Richie.
Yeah, it looked like he just had a lot of steering in that car, trying to hold the bottom and got on the gas and just kind of came around on him. Fortunately, single car incident, but he is going to be done for the night.
Backs it up into the wall. Everybody gets by. On board here with Sam. Number 63 Control Chaos car gets just by it. Good job there, Sam.
Yeah, nicely done. And that's kind of what you have to do. You got to be good and lucky as well. So, so far, a couple cautions, but just single car accidents so far.
And everybody in.
Yeah, here we come. Everybody taking their stop. Lap 21.
Ooh, and the minus 273 IndyCar misses his box just a little bit. Had to back up. It's going to cost him a little bit of time getting out. Tyler Groff going to lose a lot of time on that.
If we can follow them coming out of the pit lane, I want you to see how tight it is getting back on the track as they go around this corner. It's literally one lane. So if you can stay on board with this right here, and as they come around right at the end, you're going to see the wall come out right there. And man, that is so hard to do at speed.
And I've clipped that in a modified, running the SKs and tour mods here, and because of the offset of the modified, honestly, you think you're always worried about that right side, and you pay maybe a little less attention to the left side. And I've clipped that a couple of times, man. It's not any fun.
Yeah, if it's not a big deal in the yellow, but under green, that is going to be a sticky point for the race, I think.
Well, of course, you don't want to run a foul and get above the line too early right there. Like you said, it gets so tight. You saw where that blue cone was, and then get hit with a penalty for an unsafe exit.
Looks like we had a couple of guys stay out. Maybe they pitted earlier. So Joe Branch and Paul Jenkins.
Yeah, they did. And so that puts them out on 14 lap old tires here, Richie. Yeah. And I don't know.
Clear air though.
Yeah. In fact, the clean air was evident how well Tony was running up there. So maybe this is a good play for Joe Branch and Paul Jenkins, and maybe they get some time up there. But why don't we look at the race analysis here real quick? We haven't gone over that with the race fans yet, but the plasmatracks.com race analysis here for you. 190 laps tonight. We think they could do about 51 laps on fuel. Everybody just came in. Let's see, 8 incidents result in a loss of 3 championship points, 12 incidents minus 5 championship points, and 20 incidents results in a disqualification from the event and a minus 10 points in championship points. So get that straight. Stay out of trouble, guys. There is your race analysis, but the lights are out on the pace car. We're ready to go back to racing here in New Hampshire. The Skid Mark 200 here, a Skid Mark Motorsports 200, brought to you here by the Global Sim Racing Channel on the iRacing Esports Network. The pace car is in. Joe Branch has the field. We're mean green and underway. Branch is back at it, down into turn 1. Paul Jenkins hot on his tail. The battle is behind him. Showing Adam Blocker with a great restart on that time.
Yeah, I mean, these two guys, Joe Branch and Paul Jenkins, have assumed the top spots just purely by pitting a little earlier. But here comes Tony Schowen trying to take that spot away from Paul Jenkins, but he's got to worry about Adam Blocker, because Adam Blocker is all over him. We see some moves in the back there with Andrew Kinsella and Brian Yazik looking to make a move as well. So they're starting to mix it up as Joe Branch is starting to gap the field a little bit.
Well, apparently that did pay off because they've been able to keep pace. Damn the old tires. 18 laps. Jenkins making a move to the inside. Oh. Contact. Save it. Jenkins is in the wall, but he saves it. The field continues to go on by. Jenkins is going to drop all the way to the back of the field. Here is the replay of that.
Yeah, Tony Schowen just really got aggressive on the inside move there and slid up and caught Paul Jenkins as Paul does a great slide, clips the wall slightly, but doesn't look like he has any damage. He's able to keep going. So,
I don't think he doesn't, Richie, but he's a cork in the bottle right now as everybody around him is trying to get around.
Well, now he's got to find his rhythm and knocked him all the way back to 15th spot.
Oof, he got split right there. Let's go to Big Joe Hassard. Big Joe just had a wreck on track, and we got no caution.
Yeah, he kind of went. He's going in the corner. He gets run into the back of.
Was that Sage that hit him? Sage was one of the cars that got into that.
Workman hit him, and then Sage kind of caught a little bit of that. Surprised no yellow came out. He just kind of exited right away. And that was surprising, no yellow. But yeah, unfortunate for Big Joe there.
Unfortunate for Big Joe. Unfortunate for Sage because he's had to come in as well. Wing damage on that car. And in this battle here.
Up front, Joe Branch got a 3/4 of a second lead over our previous leader, Tony Schowen. He's got Adam Blocker all over the back of him, but then there's a gap back to Dan Guerin. And he's getting run over a little bit by Andrew Kinsella. Andrew Kinsella's trying to go to the bottom, but Dan's not giving it up.
Not easily. Not at all. And then you got Yaz here, Weaver, Mike Rigney. That's your battle for 6th. Man,
Andrew Kinsella.
Yeah, he really is trying to set this up, but Guerin keeps getting a better run off exit. At least off of 4. Dan's looked really good there, Richie.
Yeah, he's doing a good job of keeping that momentum and forcing Andrew to pinch it down low. And you think you got the pass made as you drive down on the inside of him, but...
Oh, Blocker running at Showen here.
Yeah,
or I'm sorry. Yeah. I got it right.
Yep, Blocker's trying to get right up underneath a Showen. But same type of thing. You can see he kind of gets down underneath him, but he just can't quite keep the momentum. The high line is what's really working for you. Oh, no.
What was it this time? Workman with trouble this time. Interesting. That was it. Stops in an inopportune spot or not the right spot on track there, and it triggers the caution flag.
And I did just see that Sage Karam has exited the car, so he is out for the night.
Yeah, Big Joe out of this as well. Now, what will Joe Branch do? Does he stay out? Does he set up to come in this time?
Yep, Tony Showen. Joe's staying out, but the rest of the field's coming in, so Joe's gonna keep on going. He's obviously liking how his car feels, and he said he can do 51 laps. He's only working lap 27.
And at the interval, we've hit caution flags right now, Richie. It's, he probably gets himself to another caution flag. Is able to come in with the rest of the field.
Now he's definitely hoping for that.
Yeah. Sam Ryman stays out. So does Tyler Groff.
I mean, Sam's pitted the last time, and so did Tyler and John Hill, but Joe he's going to go the distance on this run.
And Sam looks to any damage he might have had looks to have been gone on the car. And you got Tyler Graff, who missed his pit stop or missed his stall there by just a little bit, had to back up, but it cost him a lot of time. Sam's going to come in, but Graff is going to stay out. Going to try and redeem himself here at this point by staying out on track. But I mean, he saw what Joe Branch did, or at least he's got to have an idea that Branch stayed out on track, and it probably bodes pretty well for him.
No, Joe is doing a great job in the lead there. I mean, he got the lead into the pit stop, but he pulled away from the group, so he's obviously feeling pretty good.
So
like you said, Tyler Groff had a little problem in his pit stop earlier, but he's sitting second.
So obviously you got to do laps here without any other cars on the track in clean air. I mean, it really is king, is it not?
Yeah, this is a high downforce track, and you when you don't have anybody in front of you, you can run the line you choose. And unfortunately, if someone's in front of you, you have to run the line that they're not, and it really compromises your it's the mid corner is the problem. You can drive it in, but you get right when you load up the tires of the mid corner. If you don't have that air on the front, you just got to slow down. You just can't keep the momentum, otherwise the front end just washes up. So, like I said, track position is going to be king, and Joe's finding that out right now. He's feeling pretty good up front. Feels a lot better than being in the mid pack, I bet.
Yeah, I'd be pretty nervous in the mid pack right now with the cautions we've had. We talked about that in the pre-races. It's like really not the place you want to be. Your buddy Chris Reagan is back to P14, but that's probably not where he wants to be. But It's not horrible. He's got an opportunity to make his way back up here. Now the lights are out on the pace car as we get ready to go back to green flag racing here in New Hampshire.
Yeah, he got beat up on that last restart, and he got kind of shuffled back a little bit. But, he's doing a good job. He's just got to run clean is all as we go back to green.
Here we go. Mustang pace car is off, and Joe Branch on the hammer. The green flag is out. Tyler Graff gets a pretty good restart, and we got a big wreck on the restart. Looks like it was Chris Lanini spinning the tires. Oh, man, and that didn't go well at all.
Oh, that's that cold track temp, cold tires, kind of gone on it. Lost it, hit the wall.
Yeah, it was actually Reagan that spins the tires. It wasn't Lanini. Lanini gets caught up in it.
Oh, yeah, it was Chris. He lost it right in front of those guys and flipped upside down. And, yep, that's going to be the end of his night. So I know he's not going to be happy, but he did good at the beginning there.
On board with Paul Jenkins right here. He's just, man, Paul almost got by that. Wrong place, wrong time. Another on board here. This is the one with Chris Lanini here. Just a bad break all around for all those drivers involved in that.
Yeah, and, I kind of found that out when I did a little practicing here. It really is tricky getting up to speed, and so just a little bit too much throttle, and unfortunately ended a couple people's nights.
Well, that leaves us with Joe Branch still in the lead of this race, not showing any inclination to want to pit here at this point. 32 laps. Now, we said 51 laps for fuel, but with the amount of cautions we've had, obviously that window expands for him. Tyler Graff just behind him. Obviously, Tyler's decision to stay out, not really a bad one here initially. So we've had a few movers and shakers in this race. Damon Martinez, one of our big movers, he's back there in 14th, but some of the attrition and a little bit of luck, like we talked about needing to have, he's up to P14 after starting back 25th tonight.
Yeah, it's important for him because he's not. Mike Rigney's down to 9th, so that's really the guy he needs to beat. So after that poor qualifying, it's done a good job missing everything, getting up there. Yeah. Obviously, you got to give a shout out to Joe Branch, starting 18th, running up front.
Right? I mean, he is the story of the race right now. I'm not even going to call it a gamble. It was just a straight up decision. I'm staying out. I have plenty of fuel. I still have good tires. And I'm going to be in the clean air here up front. Strategic move, the right move probably. And it is certainly working out here for him as we are now, just 100 and at the stripe, 149 laps left to go.
All right, here we go. Let's do it. Got one more lap under the pace car. Like to point out the track temp is down to 77 degrees. So, really, that's pretty cold. Normally we run in the the hundreds. So, that's what makes those restarts a little tricky. So that might not be the first time we see that happen tonight.
Do you remember what the weather was like? You were there in August, I think, like if I remember correctly. It was like August of 96.
Yeah,
still pretty warm
it
up
was
there
in the summertime. It was warm, but it did rain, so we had a rain delay, so it wasn't extremely hot. I remember it was really cloudy but it is humid there, that's for sure.
Yeah. Well, you're in the upper northeastern coast there, so humidity definitely exists. All right, folks, here we go. We're getting ready to get restarted. The Ford Mustang pace car brings him around. Joe Branch been out on these tires for a bit. He doesn't care. He's got control of the field, coming out of 4, and he's on it. The green flag is back out. Joe Branch back in the lead. Tyler Graff follows him down into turn 1. Tony Schowen back there in P3 being chased by Adam Blocker. Dan Garrett.
Yeah, Adam Blocker got a little wide going right through the middle of turn 1. Looks like he's going to get challenged for that position.
It certainly is. Here comes Dandy Dan. Oh, boy. It's really narrow out of turn 4 there. Dan has to let up a little bit, let him go. Dan's got to watch out, though. Here comes Andrew Kinsella.
And you can see that how that happened in the corner, how Dan had to get out of the gas and lose all that track position, and that's brought the other group right behind him. So if you go into the corner too close to the car in front, you lose all that aero, all that weight on the front. You just got to get out of it, and it kills all your momentum. As Andrew Kinsella is going to go up high, as you see from Brian Yazik's camera. Andrew's trying to run that high.
Yaz looking for an opportunity for those two to mess up and maybe him get through. Yazik's bringing Justin Weaver with him. Weaver down a few spots, trying to get him back here. I don't know if you're seeing it, Richie, but Dan looks like he's maybe struggling with the connection just a little bit.
Yeah, I did see that a little bit. So we'll see if that holds tight. He's got Andrew Kinsella right on his gearbox, and Andrew's going to go up high. That's bringing Brian Yazik, though. He's seeing the opportunity as Dan and Andrew fight this out. Brian's going to go where they're not. And just can't get it done. Oh, here comes Brian Yazik now. Yeah, Brian's going to get the run going into 3. He's going to dive down to the bottom, but Andrew's going to have that momentum up top. Not able to clear him.
Amazing recovery by Kinsella after kind of struggling there a little bit on one end of the track, and then comes down to the other end and takes it back. Oh, and here comes Weaver on the Yazik. Watch out, Brian.
Yeah, now Brian is under attack from Justin Weaver as he goes down to the bottom, but same thing. Brian Yazik's got that momentum up top and able to keep it going, and that's bringing Mike Rigney into the mix.
Rigney back to racing here. All right, so we've got a little bit of a run here going as we're about to approach lap 50, across the stripe. And back to Joe Branch, who continues to lead this race.
Nah, he's doing a good job. He's working lap 42, but man, he's going to need a pit stop soon. So he's going to hope for a yellow flag. And Tyler Groff is doing a good job.
He is.
Sticking with them. He's able to hold off Schowen and Blocker, who's busy in their own little battle here for 3rd spot. But I'm sure Joe's starting to sweat it out a little bit. He's getting closer to that 51 lap mark.
Boy, I'm sorry, that was awful close on the minus 273 onboard camera with Tyler Groff. But we need to get back to that battle between Blocker and Schowen, because they just went at it across the stripe. Schowen trying to take it away. Blocker's going to get it back.
Yeah, that high line is really the key to keeping that momentum. Those guys, I think it's obviously a little more banked, has that progressive banking. That little bit of extra banking is really helping these guys keep the momentum. I don't know how many times Adam has tried to go underneath Tony Schowen, but I haven't lost count as they go side by side through the corner, down the backstretch, and once again, he just can't get it done. Joe Branch is doing a good job. He's starting to gap out Tyler Groff a little bit. He's got a half a second lead, but he's getting closer to that pit window. If he has to pit under green, he's going to lose at least 1 lap.
You know, Blocker hasn't had the best luck here at this track in the past. His rookie season, Blocker was involved in a crash and finished back at 22nd. Last season, he finished 10th, but he never really looked to be a threat to the win. I don't know. Maybe tonight he can turn things around, but he's going to have to win this battle with Schowen first.
Yeah, as far as the championship goes, Adam doesn't have to do anything than what he's doing right now. Just stay ahead of Dan Guerin, really. He's got such a commanding lead on that championship, but he's pretty competitive, so he's going to want to win.
Yeah.
All right, Joe Branch still out in the lead by a healthy 3/4 of a second, getting closer to working 48 laps here. Once again, nothing's changed between Schown and Blocker. Blocker on the inside, Schown carrying the momentum. Dan Guerin still holding off a whole train of cars. He's got Kinsella, Yazik, Weaver, and Rigney all stacked up behind him, but nobody can make it move.
Yeah, and remember, Kinsella's a driver who's won here. Got his second Lionheart win at this track. Kinsella knows the way to victory lane, playing it patient back there, not tangling it up with Dan quite yet. On board with Dandy Dan there. Lock precision.
Knowing Andrew, I was going to say, knowing Andrew, if he can't make the pass, he's going to sit there and try to save some fuel, but he's got a good run going into turn 3, and it looks like he's going to get it done. Oh, no, he's not. Oh, that's so tight coming off the corner. That almost, here comes Brian Yazik trying to squeak in on there.
Yeah.
You can see how tight it is.
Yazik had a big decision to make, and obviously one of them could lead into getting in a wreck there, and Yazik's in a tricky spot here with these two fighting side by side.
Andrew, I thought he had the pass completed, but not quite. That's going to put Dan back into that 5th spot. He's going to try again here going into turn 1. And just always, it's so deceiving because you think you got the pass made, and then you just have to back off to get the car to turn. And that guy just carries that momentum around you.
Yeah, and then you've got Dan, who's had a little bit of shaky connection this evening, and of course you're Kinsella racing next to him, and you've seen that happening. That's got to spook you a little bit too.
Oh, absolutely. And net code is a thing on here. We already saw one accident happen with that, so you got to be careful getting too close to anybody. Joe Branch hanging in there, lap 54. He's had a couple of yellows, obviously, so we'll see how long he can extend this out, but I'm sure right now he's really hoping for a yellow flag to come out.
Soon. Very soon.
Adam Blocker's been able to. He got by. We missed it again. Somehow we missed all Adam Blocker's passes. So we missed it again. He got by Tony Schown. And that's twice now. And he is pulling away, and he's right on the back of Tyler Groff.
Now remember, Tyler also on that one pit stop strategy right now with Joe Branch. He's got a few more laps left on his car now, but Blocker has definitely got him in the crosshairs. And there's that caution. David Clymer with a huge wreck.
Oh, yeah. So this is exactly what Joe Branch and Tyler Groff needed, was that yellow flag.
Starts across the start-finish line down into 1, and he makes that contact. That was him and Christopher.
Yeah, unfortunately, here they go into the corner. Up sideways in the wall, and really tears the car up, and it's going to be the end of his day.
Don't think it's going to be the end of Stouffer's day. I'm not seeing a tremendous amount of damage on that car. Here it is from up top. Yeah, and maybe that car just drifted a little bit on him. Maybe thought he was clear, didn't know, but Richie, this is going to result in everybody coming down into the pits, including our leader, Joe Branch, finally coming in. This will be his second stop.
Yeah, well, right now he's able to work that pit strategy up to the front. So as much as he was sweating it out, probably it's all worked out so far.
Yeah, so far so good. He's down and away already. Lights him up, coming down the pit lane. It's going to be a drag strip to the stripe, and Blocker's going to get out first. Adam Blocker and his team really on the wrenches quick. He's able to get out.
Well, that's the advantage that he has from being up in that top spot. He can just go straight out.
All right, Richie, why don't we take a quick break? We'll be right back here on the iRacing Esports Network with the Skidmark Motorsports 200 here tonight in the Lionheart IndyCar Series. We'll be right back.
The Sim Pit is an entertainment channel dedicated to the world of simulated motorsports. The Sim Pit is a leader in providing the sim racing community with news, reviews, interviews, DIY pieces, and instructional videos to make sim racing a better experience for all. Check us out at thesimpit.com or go to YouTube and just search for The Sim Pit.
Welcome back to the Lionheart IndyCar Series here at New Hampshire Motor Speedway. We're ready to go green here in the Skidmark Motorsports 200. George Enzaldo's got the field. He decided to stay out. And he's going to take that gamble that Joe Branch did. George not going to waste any time getting off of turn 4. He's on it quick. He wants the clean air. He wants the lead. He's got Adam Blocker behind him. And he really dusted him on the restart. I don't think anybody expected that. George got off to a very, very quick start there, Richie.
Yeah, I mean, you can see how he got that jump, but he was a little loose off of 2. I just noticed he's brought Adam Blocker right back into the motion there. And Adam Blocker's got a really good run. So as much as the clean air was helping George, although he's going to be able to hold him off, maybe, I don't know. We've seen a lot of passes trying to be made, but not a lot of passes being completed. So Joe Branch used it to his advantage to see how long George can hang out there in the top spot.
I don't even think George got the lead a lap. I think Adam got him at the line and actually wound up leading that first lap on the restart. And George is struggling. Quite honestly, he got the dirty air at Dan Guerin going by, and boy, that really, really washed him up. And now he's got Joe Branch all over him.
Yeah, he's still be able to hold on to that spot, but he's got the tires with 37 laps on him. Everybody else behind him has got fresh tires.
Yeah.
And a Blocker doing a good job, and Joe Branch is trying to work his way back to the front.
Well, it didn't take long for the cream to rise to the top on that restart. Adam Blocker, Dan Guerin find themselves 1-2. Joe Branch, for his efforts, though, sits here in P4 right now. Things seem to have settled down for George. Yazik is back here in the fight of his life with Showen, who just sent it. Whoa, had to get way out of it there into turn 3. And now Justin Weaver seems to be struggling as he's falling back. Kinsella gets by. Here comes Mike Rigney. There's that Mike Rigney guy again.
Yeah, Mike Rigney, trying to keep it in front of Damon Martinez as much as he can. Up front above them, George Gonzalez getting swallowed up a little bit by Joe Branch. He's doing a good job holding these guys off, but it's really stacking the field up behind them as Tyler Groff is starting to get into the motion. As George Gonzalo is still holding that high line, though. He's still holding tough, sitting in 4th spot.
You have to go a little bit back in the field. There's a little bit of break in the field where you got Dustin Wardlow in 11th. Then it's Mark Cohn, who's kind of caught in the middle. Cohn back there in a gaggle of cars. We're on board that clipping, that Apex onboard camera there. Mark Cohn up 4 spots in 12th, starting to get to this next pack in front of him. That battle we've been watching, it is crazy up there. Cohn's trying to get himself inserted into that mix. I don't know if that's a mix I want to be in right now with 113 laps left in this race.
Well, with the way Justin Weaver and Mike Rigney are racing, that's going to bring Cohn in right into it. Dustin Wardlow's into that mix as these guys fan out 3 wide. You can see Cohn sitting back there trying to get into it. Man, this is not a lot of passes, but man, it's been pretty wild.
Yeah,
it's been pretty wild racing, that's for sure. Good racing from these guys.
And there's Wardlow back there making a move. There's a move at the front. There's a move at the back. It's crazy right now. Yazik right next to Showen up there. George Gonzalo. And we haven't even talked about that. George recovered. I'm going to say recovered after starting this, the restart. At the lead, has recovered to hang into this battle.
And there goes Tony Showen. He's going to drive it onto the inside of George, try to send it in there. Doesn't able to get it done, and that, unfortunately for him, that's going to bring Andrew Kinsella to the outside. Now they're going to go almost 3 wide through the middle of the corner. They think better of it, but man, it's getting nuts out there.
It really is, and I'm wondering to myself, does anybody really want to be doing this, right? This is really how you want to race right now. There's still so much time left in this race.
I think you don't have a choice. You're just sucked into it, and you know, if you just back out, you're going to get swallowed up. So you're committed to being in that pack, and all you want is that clean air. Everybody's fighting for it as much as they can. There goes Andrew Kinsella. He's going to stuff it down the inside of George into turn 3. And it looks like he's going to be able to get it done.
Man, how different is racing this car from the car you raced here? I mean, are there a lot of strong similarities, or is it totally different?
I've never driven this car, so it's hard to say. I mean, I just know that the aero package is a little different than what they have now.
Yeah, Rigney with a big move there.
Big move right around Justin Weaver, move him up. And he's fighting for his Rookie of the Year standing, so he's got to stay up there. Damon Martinez he's moved up to 12 spots, starting 25th, but he still hasn't got up to where Mike is.
Gonzalo continues to struggle, unfortunately. He's now got back into a battle with Wardlow and Damon Martinez. So shuffle him back on board with Damon Martinez here, down the back straight.
Top 2 cars have really kind of checked out. Adam Blocker's got 2.6 second lead on Dan Guerin. And Dan Guerin's got another couple second lead on Joe Branch. Joe Branch doing a great job. Started 18th. Used that strategy of pitting early to his advantage, getting that yellow flag, and put him solidly in the top 3. Up front, not too much battling. The battle is back in the area of the Justin Weaver, Showen, Wardlow, and Zaldo. That whole area. Man, there's a whole gaggle of cars trying to take every position they can get.
Yeah, and we've been running for a bit here now, and this has spread out the field just a bit, but they're kind of all over the place, and you got to wonder here, how long is it going to be before Adam Blocker actually starts to see a little bit of traffic? Go on board with Brian Beard here in this mix, and that's Skid Mark Motorsports onboard camera. Sam Ryman. Sam hanging in there. He's up 4 spots. Brian's up 10 spots himself. just back here with these cars, it basically you can cover with a blanket right now. Track temperature, actually, Richie, looks to have come up just a little bit here. It's 77. It was down to 74, wasn't it? I think a little while ago.
Yeah, it's kind of going up and down. It is really cloudy out there. As you can see, it's pretty dark right now, but then the sun will come out, and so the track's going to change with that. So it's been pretty steady. Not a big variety of temperature, but it's still cold. That's still pretty low track temp.
And 100 to go. On board the minus 273. On board camera here, Tyler Groff. Tyler still holding off Yazik in the camera there. Here's a lap comparison. Yazik's certainly been picking some time up on him.
Justin Weaver's been able to get back by Mike Rigney. Tony Schoen, our pole sitter, was up there front, but he's been struggling on this last restart. He's only sitting in ninth spot. It wasn't not able to get up to where he was. He was with Adam.
Yeah,
struggling a little bit.
I wonder if he got a piece of the wall. We missed it. We see this battle here with Yazik, Tyler Groff going at it side by side. Andrew Kinsella right there on board with him now.
Andrew's going to have that outside groove there and just carry that momentum. That's where you want to be. It's really hard to keep that speed as you go down to the bottom, even though it's the shortest distance around, but it is the tighter part of the track. So right now, if you can get up to that upper groove and carry that speed, you're going to either hold the position or get the position.
Well, everybody right now on the same cycle except for George Anzalo. Anzalo is in the pits.
Yeah, he's coming in. So he didn't get the yellow flag that Joe Branch got, so he's going to cycle a lap or two down.
Yeah, if you got a pit off cycle here, that's a pretty bad deal. It's again 22-second laps. They're running right now 22.5 seconds. Yeah, you pit stop your delta somewhere just, I don't know, about 30 seconds. Yeah, not too hot.
Now, they're going to lose at least one lap, if not two. Yeah. Looks like he's going to lose 2 laps.
On board with Andrew Kinsella here, chasing Tyler Groff. There's George making his way out. It was a 23-second stop just in the box. So I wonder, George maybe had a little bit of damage on that car. That was a long stop in the box.
Yeah, that was. The pit stop should be right around the 7.5 second range. Right now it's starting to heat up a little bit. Tyler Groff, Kinsella, Yazik, Weaver, Rigney all kind of stacking up on each other a little bit. We had a little bit of a break, and now it's starting to heat back up.
Yeah, and Yazik was in a big hurry, and then all of a sudden he's kind of falling off a little bit all of a sudden. I just think it's that dirty air that you talk about and the inability to really pull off a good, solid run. And well, when you try it, and you don't pull it off, you have to wind up backing out of it and giving up space. And here comes Yazik, Kinsella, to try and make the move on Groff now. And Yazik back there now getting his run on Kinsella.
Yeah, and Yazik's trying to take the outside lane. That's how Kinsella got around him. So Kinsella gave him a little bit of a look to the outside, but Brian wasn't able to get there. Now Brian's going to try to go to the inside as they come off turn 2 here. Go back through the field a little bit. Damon Martinez, Chris Stouffer, Mark Cohn we talked about earlier, Brandon Linkerman. Brian Beard doing a good job, starting 26th up to 15th.
Yeah, and we haven't talked enough about the run that Beard's had as we go back on board with the Skidmark Motorsports onboard camera. But that is yeoman's work here tonight at New Hampshire Motor Speedway. We got a lot of cars sitting out of this race right now. I think about 10 of them from what we started that we're not in the race anymore. And Well, Beard started back in 26, and here he is now up in P15. Go back up here to the battle. Graf is now falling back just a bit. Kinsella just got by him.
Yeah, Kinsella got by him now. Tyler Graf struggling a little bit to hold on to that fifth spot. He's got a hungry Brian Yawson and Justin Weaver all over the back of him, so he's probably hoping for a yellow flag soon. He's obviously not feeling very good on those tires at the moment.
Man, and I saw Rigney back there just behind them, and he was really running it high, wide, and handsome all the way up near the wall. And he looks to be doing it again, but it got him up to the group. So Rigney back there finding maybe a little something with the higher line, Richie.
I gotta give a shout out to Adam Blocker. He is just smoking everybody. He's 5 seconds ahead of Dan Garrett now. As close as we've seen some of the racing, he has just left the field in the dust, and he has definitely found a rhythm. I had noticed that he was running. He's downshifting all the way to fourth gear in the middle of the corners, then up to six down the straightaways. So that's something that I wasn't doing. So he's obviously found something that's working for him at the moment.
Oh, and now we get Branch Kinsella at it, and Branch is going to get this done. Maybe. No, Kinsella fights back, got the inside. Oh, Branch up near the wall.
Yeah, it was so close. And Kinsella had the inside line easily. But Joe carrying that momentum. They're going to try again in 1 and 2. Kinsella's going to wash up, and here comes Joe right around the outside, and Kinsella's going to send it in there again on the bottom. And that's really kind of how you have to make these passes. You almost have to do a slide job almost.
Yeah. Graf and Weaver back here doing the same thing. They just traded off a couple of times. It's allowed Yazik to actually get away and separate himself from that battle and maybe get to work on trying to find Joe Branch. This is a fun one tonight. I knew it would be here at New Hampshire. It has not disappointed.
No, it's definitely not been boring at all. It's been battles all over the place. And I've just seen these guys, man, they have to work so hard to get that pass done. But we're seeing multiple lines, different strategies, so it's been good. We're working lap 43 on the last pit stops, so we're getting close to our fuel run. I hope we see some green flag pit stops.
Yeah, that'll really change the shape of this race, and boy, the clean air will be hard to find once we get pit stops under green.
Well, Andrew Kinsella, once he got around Joe Branch, kind of dusted him off. Joe Branch struggling a little bit to hold on to that top 5 position. He's got Brian Yazik. Brian Yazik's been kind of in that mix all race long, but he just hasn't been able to get those passes done.
Trying to get it done here.
Gonna have to just drive it in a little harder, I think. That's the way Andrew Kinsella kind of did. He just drove it in so hard, and he just kind of held on to it.
Joe has definitely shown up to fight tonight. It's looked awful good here at New Hampshire Motor Speedway. Here comes Yazik, tail grabbing him. But again, like you said, Richie just can't pull off the pass.
He's been trying really hard for a while, and even right behind those guys, they're all kind of hanging in there. Justin Weaver going down to the bottom, Mike Rigney going up to the top. And I've seen Brian Yazik. He's tried everything. He's tried the bottom. He's tried the top. He just can't quite get it. I'm sure he's getting a little frustrated.
I've seen him all over the asphalt, and just nothing there.
Our leader's in lap traffic now, going around John Hill.
I knew that was coming soon, and he gets by Hill, but he's going to have more traffic in front of him now. It doesn't end there. It'll be Sam Ryman in front of him, and then Brian Beard just a little bit further ahead. So this is that period of the race now where Adam's going to have to contend with the traffic because we had such a great green flag run now.
Yeah, but fortunately for him, he looks like he's catching them like one car at a time. He hasn't caught up to that four car pack. He's still got a 6-second lead over second place Dan Guerin, so he can take a little bit of his time getting by these guys. We're going to be getting close to pit stops anyways pretty soon.
Yep. There you go, Richie. You just
There you
called
go.
it, buddy.
Mark
Mark
Combs decided to call it it's time and going to come on in.
The Watchman into his stall. Hits it perfectly.
There he is, dropping away. Away he goes. We're going to start seeing probably quite a cycle of cars coming in here fairly soon.
Yeah, Blocker sitting on 51 laps right now on his current run. And the Yaz comes in. Brian Yazek bringing his. Solar IndyCar into the pits. Brandon Limkeman going to follow him in. And the dominoes start to fall, Richie.
Yeah, we're going to see how far they can really go because Adam Blocker's working lap 52 now. So they said 51 laps, but he's obviously going farther than that. And here he comes. He's slowing down. It's a little bit tricky to get into that. That pit speed comes up real quick. Dan Guerin's going to stay out. Yep, Dan Guerin is going to stay out, assume the lead. Joe Branch is staying out.
Yeah, it's bad. Well, Joe likes to do that. He likes to stay out, but he is going to push it real close on this window of fuel. Here comes Dan Guerin finally peeling off. So, like I said just a little while ago, this is going to get kind of crazy because we're going to have drivers, cars all over this track and all different spots of the track.
Yep. Joe Branch now assumes the lead. Here comes Dan Guerin. Oh, Dan Guerin. Dan missed his box. He had to back up.
He slid it in there, had to back up. Didn't hurt him too bad, but it was just enough. It's again, green flag pit stops. You can't make any mistakes here.
No, he lost a couple tenths. Wasn't that bad. But everything counts as he blends back out into traffic. Just like he comes out right in front.
And that was Joe Branch. Was that Branch? No, it was Stouffer. I'm sorry. Well, it was Stouffer that pit. Oh, no.
Out.
Brian Beard, Rigney. Oh, no. This is Rigney coming off the pit lane, and I think that's where the trouble started. Rigney gets loose, and then...
That's the tricky spot.
Yep. And then Damon Martinez goes around. That's Martinez right behind Rigney. Oh, boy.
Yeah, unfortunately, Rigney looks like he started to spin and then caused a couple guys to check up. And
kind of a chain reaction, yeah.
Yeah, it's really tricky getting back on the gas there. Oh, and then he clips another car as he gets going again. He clips Brian Beard here, on board with Brian.
Go on board with Sam Ryman here. Get his view. Sam was coming off the pit lane when this all happened. He gets out. Somebody else didn't get out, was actually coming in. I don't remember who that was now, but Sam right behind all this as he was trying to get off the lane. He just got to stop and wait. No choice.
Well, he had to stop. He had to stop because the right past these guys is the blue cone, and you can't go onto the track. There it is. Past that, if he went out on the track, he'd get a penalty. So he had to just kind of stop, wait for those guys to get out of the way.
Well, Joe Branch just came in. He's going to come out.
Well, that's going to change up our Rookie of the Year points here a little bit because now it's put Mike behind Damon Martinez, and Damon needs all the points he can get to close that gap up.
Yeah, we've got we've got a portion of probably a little over a third of this field. They're going to be a lap down after this and the pit cycles, and then we've got a whole nother 10 cars that we won't see back on track at any point here this evening. So it's been a tough night here in New Hampshire, but honestly, I don't know. It's not quite as bad as we certainly think it could be. I mean, there's only 65 laps left to go in this race. A lot of the guys that are racing up front, they've spent most of their time up there in the field tonight. Joe Branch has been the wild card for us. He starts back just inside the top 20 in the 18th spot tonight. Pulls off a strategy early that gets him up here in the front of the field, and that's pretty much where he's stayed since then. So he's definitely got the wheels to do it here tonight. Stouffer's been good. Blocker continues somewhat of the dominance we've seen all season from him here tonight. Obviously, when he got a hold of the clean air, Richie, we saw what he did. He opened up 5 seconds on P2 like it was nothing. So this one's going to come down to an exciting finish. I can assure you there'll be nothing boring about the finish of this race tonight.
No, especially if we can get another yellow flag. They're obviously going to have to make one more pit stop. But Adam Blocker, man, he really took off on that last run. But it's going to be a little different story. Everybody's going to stack up. That did mix the field up a little bit, though. Some guys getting caught a lap down, including our pole sitter, Tony Showen. Looks like he's sitting in 12th, 1 lap down. So that was unfortunate for him.
Well, the lights are back out and everybody's cycling around. They better hustle up because we are on the backstretch. We're heading into 3. Blocker's got the field. Not going to be extending the caution flag here. The pace car getting ready to peel off. Everybody trying to catch up to the field. Adam Blocker's got him out of 4. Stouffer hangs on. Blocker gets away. We're mean green and back underway here at New Hampshire Motor Speedway. A car back there very, very slow on the start. Moved down to the inside. I didn't see who that was. Is that Anzaldo maybe?
Yeah, I think he just kind of getting out of the way, let those guys start racing because he's a couple laps down. And a Blocker doing a good job, but Chris Stover's staying right with him. Joe Branch still steady Eddie there in that 3rd spot, so he's doing a good job as well.
And then it was the second pack behind them getting restarted. Dan Guerin gets away from Andrew Kinsella. Yazik, though, right now fighting with Dustin Wardlow. First time we've got to talk about the Candyman tonight. He's up into the mix now. Wardlow looking to try and get into the top 5.
Yeah, he did a good job on that pit cycle. Once again, we kind of trapped a bunch of cars out. So really 11 cars are on the lead lap. That is it. All the way down to Damon Martinez starting 25th up to 11th. And here comes Andrew Kinsella really trying to make a move on Dan Guerin. Once again, trying to send it on the bottom. We've seen this story before.
Oh, and we got another caution. And this time it was Rigney. Oh, no. Big junk for Rigney. I think Sam Ryman got into him as well. I don't think Sam had anywhere to go, and Rigney, I think, does it all by himself. That car just starts to spin.
Yeah, he was just coming out of the pits as well. So I think he had some cold tires just trying to get up to speed and just kind of loses it right before those cars coming. Just not much they can do.
Weaver just barely got by, but it was Sam Ryman that really caught the brunt of that, Richie. And, well, that brings us down to another caution flag here. We just got off of one. We're back to another one here with 60 laps left to go. I wonder what we'll see here from the field as far as getting in here to the pit lane. I'm thinking everybody stays out or they all come in. Blocker's going to lead him, and he's going to come in.
Yeah, well, we got, 59 laps to go. We've seen them go 53 laps. So if we get one more yellow, they're going to be able to make it. So it's definitely worth it to come in and if it goes green, you're good. If it goes yellow, everybody's going to pit probably anyways.
Yeah. We may get that fuel strategy race after all, Richie, here, considering where we're sitting and the number of laps we got left. It may work out that way. We'll see. They're all fighting to get out of the pits. Stouffer got a nice stop that time. He got away clean. All right, Richie. So we were talking a little bit before the race about you racing here back in '96, and we talked about the field and some of the people that were in it. There was a guy named Tony Stewart in that field who was enjoying his rookie season as a driver there in
Never
open
heard
wheel
of him.
cars. Never, yeah, neither have I. But
Never heard of that guy.
Ari Lyondike in that field. In fact, you finished right behind him in 14th. Ari, of course, big fan of AJ Foyt and his cars, who did really, really well in that race. In fact, Scott Sharp won that race in that Conseco IndyCar for AJ Foyt, and Davey Hamilton finished P5. But it was a pretty fun day, I imagine. I know it rained.
It was
and you
all
told
right.
me the car. You
Yeah,
had explain what happened with the car there after the rain.
Yeah. Well, I mean, it was kind of bittersweet. Got my first pole there, so ran up front most of the race, but then it started to rain, so we had to stop. And unfortunately, when we were sitting on the grid, my car heat soaked and just started, overheating or started leaking water, and that was it. That was the end of my day, so I didn't even finish the race.
Got the pole, man. Now that was a solo qualifying, correct?
Yeah, they do it just kind of like what they do, now. It's just go on ovals. You go out there, I think it was just 2 or 3. I can't even remember now. It's so long ago. It's 2 laps, I think. You just go out there and do 2 hot laps, take your best lap.
We're at the beginning or the end of qualifying.
Man, you're asking me questions. That's like 20. That's 23 years ago.
Yeah,
all I know is I got the pole. So
yeah,
that's all that matters.
Yeah,
I'm sorry, I don't
does.
remember.
No, it's all right, man. It's all right. I'm just curious. Of course, really cool that you actually got to run there. But that did. Was that the only race you got to run there, or did you run Atlantics or anything there?
No, it's the only time I ever raced there.
Okay.
So when I went from IRL to kart, kart never went back.
Got it. Yeah.
Until, kart never went back,
Right.
and then I was out of the league basically. But it was fun. It's a fast, scary place. So I mean, it's fast, but you're committed. So I said it was kind of like a faster Milwaukee. I probably should say it was probably like a faster Martinsville. Wider and a lot longer, but just really committed in those corners. But it was good. It was satisfying to get that trophy.
And we're committed to the restart here as we get back underway here in the Skidmark Motorsports 200. Groff gets off to a really good start there, Richie, and able to pull away from Blocker just a little bit. And you've got the lapped car. It's okay. Is that who's in the middle there?
That was
Tony Schowen. I'm sorry, Schowen. Who's
He
down.
was our pole sitter. But Tyler Groff, he didn't come in on that last stop, so he is going to have to stop no matter what. Adam Blocker led the rest of the field. He was the first one of the stoppers, so he's good to go if we get maybe one more yellow flag. Probably he might even be able to make it anyways, so he's going to be close. But Tyler's definitely gonna have to stop, and he's doing a good job up front. Adam Blocker has cleared Tony Schowen, and Christopher now sitting in third. Good job from him, starting 12th, third, but he's got hungry Dan Guerin and Andrew Kinsella all over the back of him for looking to get that spot away.
And Kinsella and Guerin have been fighting for a while now, and of course, this isn't the first time they've ever fought together on a track. So, a familiar battle here between these two. Probably take it right down to the end, but our inability to get any really, really good passes made here at the top of the field leads you to believe that he's stuck in that battle right now. And then there's a huge battle just behind them. When you talk about Branch, Yazek, Weaver, Wardlow, all in that. Mark Cohn just on the tail of it. Oh, and Wardlow's around. Wardlow got down there, a spot on the track. Richie, you talked about it before. It's just a little too narrow down there and maybe a little bit too much throttle getting back to it. But Wardlow's car just comes around, gets right in a cone.
Yeah. Well, it's really flattens out there, so he's trying to apply a throttle. Yep, just loses it. Unfortunately, gets cone right into the fence.
Wow.
So yellow flag. So this is the yellow flag that Tyler Groff needed to pit, and this is probably the yellow flag the rest of the field needed just to make it.
Right. Yeah. I guess the common thinking would be that they all come in right here and do exactly that, top off.
I don't know. I don't know
Well,
if the
maybe
tires
not.
are really wearing out that bad. I mean, we saw how fast Adam Blocker was all the way in. Looks like it's just going to be Tyler Groff is going to come in, and he's going to lose all that track position. So with the low track temps, I don't know if the tires are that big of a deal.
Oh,
So,
I mean, we certainly saw
looks like
what Joe did early with his tires. So, and he stayed fast. I mean, he didn't, unlike what we saw with George, where he apparently those tires were a little bit too used up, and he fell back as much as he did. Joe continued to stay up front when he was on those tires, and as they aged throughout the run.
Yeah, it looks like Yazik and Weaver also came in.
All right, Richie, let's take a quick break here. We'll come back. We'll finish this race up here at New Hampshire Motor Speedway here in the iRacing Esports Network. Don't go away. We'll be right back.
The Sim Pit is an entertainment channel dedicated to the world of simulated motorsports. The Sim Pit is a leader in providing the sim racing community with news, reviews, interviews, DIY pieces, and instructional videos to make sim racing a better experience for all. Check us out at thesimpit.com or go to YouTube and just search for The Sim Pit.
Welcome back to the iRacing Esports Network and the Lionheart IndyCar Series on tonight here with you with the Global Sim Racing Channel, the Skid Mark Motorsports 200. With about 47 laps to go when we get to the stripe, the pace car going to pull off now. The lights are off. It's away. Adam Blocker's away. Back on the pedal here across the start-finish line down into one. He'll continue to lead this race with Chris Stouffer chasing Dan Guerin, Andrew Kinsella, and Joe Branch. Now Damon Martinez also up to P6. We talk about big movers. Martinez started this race back in 27th tonight. Or 25th.
It's gonna be a big points haul if he can keep that there for his Rookie of the Year standings, as his closest competitor there in this championship was knocked out. John Hill's still hanging in there, though. He's really consistent, so he's going to gain some points on Mike Rigney as well. We're kind of watching this battle with Dan Garrett and Andrew Kinsella again, and they're just constantly beating up on each other. Right behind him there, though, is you still got Joe Branch and Damon Martinez. Brian, you got a big group of cars.
Kinsella having big moments there on the track. Man, I hope this doesn't end in tears for both of these guys. They've raced well, but they've raced really, really hard, and you just don't want to get bit here with as few laps to go as we've got left at this point. We've made it almost the whole way.
Yeah, they're both pretty smart drivers, so they've been racing each other for a long time, so they kind of know their limitations. And I have a feeling that Andrew eventually is going to get by, but man, Dan's doing a great job just holding them off. He's kind of taken both lanes down low into the corner and then up high at the exit. It's given Andrew nowhere to go. On screen there, you can see Yazik and Joe Branch doing a great job hanging in there. Did a good job with that pit stop strategy to get him up there from 18th, but Damon Martinez as well, 25th and 5th. That's a big group of cars right there. Anything can happen.
Really is now being led by Martinez, who got around Yaz. Yaz and Joe Branch now find themselves side by side, and Justin Weaver back up into this battle. Weaver's going to get alongside Branch now. Yazik able to get ahead. Martinez looks awful quick, man.
He's kind of finding his rhythm there, but we've seen it all race long is that, people can get in front and nobody can get around them. You don't have to be that much slower to hold them off. So hopefully Brian Yazik, he's been in a battle all race long with a bunch of people, but he has struggled to make those passes complete.
Yeah, Martinez got around. He started to pull away. In fact, he's got just enough clean air in front of him that he's able to do this to Yazik and Weaver. It won't be long, though. He'll be catching Kinsella if he can get to him there, and then maybe that gives Yazik and Weaver a chance to get back to him. Kind of pulling them along here slowly.
Yeah, well, what's helping Damon Martinez is Andrew Kinsella and Dan Guerin have kind of pulled away a little bit. So it's given Damon Martinez kind of an area that he can run and get some clean air. And we're kind of stretched out a little bit at the moment. Adam Blocker, once again, not pulling away like he was earlier. As Chris Stover, we haven't talked about him much. Chris starting 12th, running in second place, so he's doing a good job. And they both pulled away from the Dan Guerin-Kinsella fight.
Yeah, Stouffer having a monster run here this evening here in New Hampshire, and the Indiana driver looking really, really good. A podium wouldn't be bad for him. He's got a win right in front of him there, and Adam Blocker.
Yeah, he's keeping Adam Blocker honest because Adam Blocker earlier smoked everybody up to 6-second gap, and Christopher's sitting there about 4/10 away. So I don't know if Adam is trying to save some fuel or just kind of just cruising, but he's not pulling away like he was earlier.
35 laps to go, Richie, and it's going to be very, very close on the fuel.
Yeah, that last yellow flag is definitely going to help, but it's going to be right on the money. I think it's going to be okay, but not it's not safe enough where they're not going to have to keep an eye on it.
Well, drivers that will be safe will be guys like Yazik, Weaver, Tyler Groff. They came in, they topped off, they got tires. So, if things get tricky, they get a little close, they can definitely stay out. So we'll see this fuel mileage battle that we speculated about that still could come into play. It could come into bite some of these drivers, just like it happened last season.
Yeah, those three drivers are good to go, and fresher tires, good fuel. Although they are back in 6th, 7th, and 8th position, respectively, and going to have to try to make some moves, which was seen being difficult. But if it goes green, those guys in front might have to be lifting more than normal. Damon Martinez doing a good job holding off these guys. He's got just enough gap on Brian Yazik to where Brian can't really make a move.
Yeah, this just, again, caps off what's been a great run for Martinez this evening. Yazik still fighting. You said it a moment ago, Yazik seems to have been fighting all night. It's true, he has been fighting all night. At some point, that's gotta wear you out. It's got to fatigue you a little bit and maybe even deflate you a bit there. But Yazik, he's got to be careful here because he's got Weaver and Groff right behind him, and they are on the way.
Yeah, we've seen Brian. He's been in some good battles, but he's struggled to really get the passes done. And right now, he's struggling with the dirty air in front of him, and he's got these two guys trying to split him in the corner. So he's been busy. Oh, here we go up to P3. Once again, Andrew Kinsella. He's been behind Dan Guerin for a long time, and he's really trying to make a move as we get closer to the end.
He tried it right there, going through 3 and into 4, and then got out of it. Dan Guerin continues to lead him here in P3. But the podium far from settled. Nobody running away with it.
Now Dan's doing a good job. He's just kind of entering the corner in the middle, and then he just lets it come out to the exit. And it's just not giving Andrew anywhere to go to get some clean air on that front wing. And I think Andrew's going to try to go around the outside like you're seeing right here. That's going to be his best option, but it's going to take a while to build that up.
And honestly, I don't know if this race has ever been more spread out than it is right now, Richie.
Yeah, I mean we only have 10 cars on the lead lap, so some of those guys running. We only have, I think, 15 cars racing at the moment, so it's pretty spread out. But, ooh, here comes Andrew Kinsella.
Yeah.
He is right behind him. He came off that corner, and he's going to have to just go into the corner and try to go drive around the outside. I mean, he's just not going to be able to make it on the inside.
Well, obviously, timing the timing of it all has got to be really, really tight. You agree with that?
Timing's, yeah. I mean, if Dan just hangs out wide a little longer, it forces Andrew to get off the gas. So it's really, you got to give credit to Dan. I mean, he's just running the perfect laps. And even though he's not the fastest, but he's running the perfect laps. He's running just the right line to keep those guys from getting by him.
Right, and they're dealing with a little bit of traffic now, getting by Ward. I think that's Cecil Wardlow they're going by. Yeah, it is. Cecil Wardlow getting by.
Adam Blocker must be good on fuel because he's now opened that gap up to 1.5 seconds. It was a half a second not that long ago. So
It
not much battle going on up there.
That's right. Not that long ago, we were talking about how well Stouffer was doing to hang with him there and kind of keep it close, and not so much now.
And Andrew Kinsella's dropped off of Dan. I don't know if that lap car had anything to do with it, but he's brought Damon Martinez now into the mix.
Martinez looking for more here. Why not? You've picked up 20 spots. Why not try and get another one here?
Yeah, I mean, this is going to be, this is probably, if he finishes right here, it's probably going to put him in the lead for the Rookie of the Year standing. So I believe he was only, 19 points behind. And with Mike Rigney out of the race, finishing 18th, he's looking good. $20 laps to go, getting closer to the end. I hope it goes green the whole way, just to see how it plays out.
Yeah, well, I'm with you. I want to see it play out that way as well. I really do. I'd much rather. I want to see these guys. I want to see these guys try and make it on these fuel on the fuel that they've gambled on here. Getting reports though that maybe Martinez maybe soft shoeing it a little bit. So Richie, maybe one driver concerned with the fuel here at the moment.
Yeah, just as we talked about Adam Blocker opening the gap, it's closed back up to 0.8 of a second. So it might be the same thing. Adam might not be as good on his fuel number as he thinks. So they're starting to kind of pedal it back a little bit. They're all working lap 41 since the last stop.
Yep.
And you can see on the screen there the gap closing up each lap. So, yeah, it's going to be close. So we got 17 laps to go. 17 and 41 is, 58? We did have one yellow there, so it's going to be really close. Yeah, doing math. It works out. I can add pretty, whole numbers. Yeah, it's going to be close to that yellow flag. You save, probably 3 or 4 laps of fuel if you're good at it. So it's going to be pretty tight. So if we want to look at that, that brings the question into Brian Yazik, Groff, and Weaver, who did pit.
Yep.
And they don't have to pedal it.
In fact, Weaver right now, right up on the rear wing of Tyler Groff, and looking to make this pass. He's actually going to pull that off pretty clean. Groff going to let him have it. In fact, I think Groff might have made a little contact with the wall there coming out of 4.
He hasn't got it yet. But Weaver, they're going side by side. Here comes Brian Yazik right in front of them, right onto the back of Damon Martinez. So I think you're seeing a little bit of what you're talking about, is Martinez having to lift a little bit into the corners to save some fuel. And Brian does not.
And it's nothing but battling in front of them, because you go up in front of them and it's Kinsella and Dan Guerin still going at it. Stouffer's
he's closed up to 310. Oh, here he comes. Ooh, Adam's really fallen back. He's really fallen back into the clutches of Chris. So Chris is only 0.3 of a second behind.
12 laps to go, Richie. And now we really start to bring in the drama here. We know a lot of these drivers are really going to be close on fuel. Who is, who isn't, who knows? We're all going to find out together here. Big lift from Blocker right there.
I mean, if he's tight on fuel, so is Stouffer, Guerin, Kinsella, and Martinez.
Yeah,
they're all the same. Right. But also, Adam Blocker's been out front the whole time, so he's had nobody to draft with. So we just got to keep an eye on Yazik, Groff, and Weaver. If these guys really start having to back up, they might be in the driver's seat for this.
And Weaver just got around Tyler Groff. And Yazik is definitely caught Damon Martinez. Can't get around him. Trying to set him up for a pass.
Yeah, well, here comes Weaver. Now he's going to try to make a move on Brian. Brian's going to say, no way. I've been working on this for a long time. You're not taking it from me. But really, Brian just needs to send it in there, because obviously Damon's having to lift. So he needs to get the run off the corner here. Ooh, they almost touched. Oh, looks like he's going to go around the outside. Ooh, Damon's coming in.
Yeah,
Martinez is coming in.
Wow, that doesn't bode well for everybody else, does it?
Wow, he's going to give up the ghost. Now, you know what? He's not really giving up much, because, I mean, he'll lose obviously a couple of spots, but really, like I said, his main competitor is Mike Rigney, who's out of the race. So he just did a quick splash and go, and he's going to come out about 9th or 10th.
Blocker, Stouffer, Guerin, Kinsella. They roll on. Will they make it? The top 4 right now are at risk of not having enough fuel to finish this race. Brian Yazik back there in P5 licking his chops. He's got to hold off Justin Weaver.
We know Adam Blocker and Andrew Kinsella are really good at saving fuel. So Dan Guerin's been doing a good job, just kind of running fast enough. We'll see what Chris Stouffer can do. I know he's been pushing pretty hard.
Yeah.
But he's been falling back from Adam.
We've got 5 to go. They've been out here for 54 laps. The top 4, the 3 behind them are in the good. At least we believe they are, and Yazek, Weaver, and Groff. But this is Adam Blocker's race to win or to lose here at this point. He's opened it back up. It's 1.7 seconds. Skidmark Motorsports 200 has been an exciting one tonight, but we still don't know how this is all going to shake out with 3 to go here at the line.
Yeah, he's definitely not worried about fuel at this point because he's opened the gap quite a bit to Chris Stouffer. Chris Stouffer's sitting there pretty in second place, no challenge from behind. Just worrying about the fuel level. Andrew Kinsella's fallen off the back of Dan a little bit, so he's not able to challenge him. Surprised that Yazek hasn't been able to get up there and push Andrew a little bit harder.
Well, our leader is coming around down the backstretch. Turn 3 on the way. Turn 4 right ahead of him. Come to the stripe here for the white flag here in New Hampshire Motor Speedway. Adam Blocker is going to pull this off. We think he is. Doesn't look like he cares about fuel a whole lot. In fact, it's 2.3 seconds now. Back to Stouffer. Stouffer, in fact, may be the one that's having to save a little bit of fuel, maybe running a bit dry. Dan Guerin closes in. But it's going to be Adam Blocker for your win here tonight in New Hampshire. Stouffer going to take second. Guerin with a third place finish. Andrew Kinsella fourth, and Brian Yazek will go P5. Nobody runs out of fuel there, Richie.
No, and I'm surprised that Damon pitted because, there's only 9 cars on the lead lap, so I don't know. He was obviously shorter than everybody else, or just worried about it.
Yeah,
but it all worked out for those guys who stayed out.
It did. It did, and it worked out for us. We got ourselves a great race here tonight at New Hampshire Motor Speedway. A lot of fun. We're going to take a quick break. We'll come back with the results here on the iRacing Esports Network, brought to you here tonight with the Global Sim Racing Channel. We'll be right back. Don't go away. Welcome back to the Skid Mark 200 at New Hampshire Motor Speedway and the Plasma Tracks Victory Lane post show. You know, folks, if you're struggling for something to find for someone, especially with the holidays coming up, for that person who has everything, man, do I have the website for you. Plasma-Tracks.com not only produces original racetrack wall art, motorsports trophies, home decor, and motorsport fabrication is also available. Words cannot do justice to the uniqueness in their wares. The only way to fully appreciate their artwork is to see it for yourself, but be warned, one visit, and next thing you know, you'll be trying to convince your spouse or significant other why you need a Plasma Track wall art hanging in your home. See it all at plasma-tracks.com. Use the promo code LRS2019 to get 25% off your order. And now, let's bring you 100% of the Sim Pit finishing order for tonight's race here in New Hampshire. Adam Blocker, your big winner. Chris Stouffer will finish second. Dan Guerin rounds out our podium. Andrew Kinsella, a P4 tonight. Brian Yazek, great race for him. He'll finish fifth. Justin Weaver, great race for him also in sixth. Tyler Graff, going to be happy with the seventh place finish tonight. Joe Branch, great strategy, paid off for Joe, gets him in the top 10 tonight. Eighth place. Tony Schowen, ninth. And Damon Martinez with a really, really solid run tonight, having to take that late pit stop. He'll finish 10th. Richie.
Yeah, finishing 11th will be Brandon Limkeman, starting 22nd to 11th. That's good for him. Justin Warlow was up there battling for a little while. He's going to come home 12th. Brian Beard coming home 13th. These guys all 2 laps down. George Anzaldo hung in there, finishes 14th. John Hill staying out there, man, just being consistent like he has been all year, coming home 15th, 28th to 15th. Nice job. The rest of these drivers, did not finish the race. We got Mark Cohn in 16th, Samuel Ryman 17th, Mike Rigney 18th, David Clymer 19th, and Chris Reagan in 20th.
All right, Richie, and the last few here, it's going to be Chris Lanini with a 21st place run, 22nd for Paul Jenkins, 23rd, Bart Workman. Sage Karam got caught up early. Unfortunately, he was out. 24th, Big Joe Hassert, Big Joe Show, 25th. Stephen Larkamp, 26th. Connor Harrington, 27th. David Altman, 28th tonight. And Ron Hacker going to finish 185 laps behind here tonight. But it's time to talk to our winner, our champion, Adam Blocker. You have clinched, sir. Congratulations.
Yeah, thanks.
Man, that was some race there tonight. It didn't come easy. Talk to us a little bit about that. New Hampshire's a tough one.
Yeah, New Hampshire's tough. I like it. I haven't had the best luck here in the past in Lionheart, but yeah, qualified second and then got passed by Dan at the start, and then figured out a way to get back past Dan, and then there's kind of a bunch of different pit strategies going on, and ended up behind a few cars and I passed Tony on the track, and then ended up passing Joe and Tyler in the pits under yellow one time when they were because they had to fill for longer, so I had a shorter fill, and it came out in front of them, and then I think I had to pass George on the restart because he stayed out. But yeah, then I had clean air, and then kind of led from there, and then we had at the end we all had to save fuel to make it, so I was saving hard. I was for most of the race, I was going full throttle through all the brake marker boards and then trail braking into the corner to get the car rotated. But in the last stint for most of the time, I was lifting at the 4 board to save fuel, so it was a big save, and I ended with like 0.05 left. So,
okay, so you took my next question from me. I wanted to know how much fuel was left in the car, and obviously you had to work at that, but everybody else behind you, obviously, they were having to work at that too, weren't they?
Yeah, it was tough because obviously, I was definitely running slower lap times, at least by a few tenths to save fuel, and I knew the guys behind me were having to save fuel, but I knew there was a couple times Stouffer got kind of close to me, and I'm like, well, I gotta push now. But fortunately, I think, I just managed the gap well, and then with 10 to go, I hit a number that I knew I could push fairly hard to the end. and make it close. Even though it'd be close, I would be safe on the gap. So I kind of pushed for like the last 10 laps to just be safe to build a gap.
All right, so I'm going to ask you this: we still have several races to go in the season. You've clinched the championship tonight. Um, what's the plan? What do you do going forward? How do you approach these last several races?
Just go out like I have been, but I guess the main goal is try to win some races. Got some tracks that, Laguna Seca. Hopefully, I can have a good run there. But yeah, I think I'm at 9 wins this season, so it'd be pretty cool to get 10, get in double digits. Just finish all of them in the top 5, finish on a real high note going to next season, and help the team win the team championships. So.
All right, Adam. Well, hey, listen, congratulations. We enjoyed talking to you. We'll see you next week. Not many breaks left in the schedule, so back to racing, but we'll see you soon.
Yeah, thanks to you guys for calling the race. Thanks to George and all the admins for all the work they do, and also shout out to all my teammates. We had a really good result: 3 cars in the top 5 and 5 in the top 10. So, see you guys at.
All right, and we will see Adam down the road. Congratulations again to Adam Blocker, our winner and season champion. Now we get to talk to Chris Stouffer. Richie's got him.
All right, Chris. I think it's the first time I've interviewed you here on GSRC, and great job, 12th to 2nd. Just give us a little rundown on the race there.
Well, happy to be back in here talking to you guys. It's been quite a long time. I think first race of the season was last time I was on the podium. So got that out of the way and monkey off the back. But yeah, the race started 12th. Worked my way up to about 9th or 10th. Somebody there did their best Rowdy Burns impression, kind of dazed and thundered me right in the wall. I got about 15 seconds of optional repair, so I knew I had some damage on the suspension. Didn't know how I was going to handle when I went back out there, and clearly it handled just fine. And I was able to get lucky when that caution came out by staying out there and stretching the fuel as long as I could, and managed to get up to second. Then, of course, had Adam Blocker there up front. I had one shot there to get around him. We were saving fuel because we knew it was tight. I was actually about a lap to the good. If I knew had that much fuel, I probably would have challenged him a little bit earlier and maybe could have done something with it. But I'll definitely take second any day of the week.
Yeah, absolutely. I'd take second as well. That was a tough race, and Adam did mention that he was pretty tight on fuel, so he was kind of just trying to manage that a little bit. But one thing I wanted to bring up, we were watching the race, and a lot of battles going on, a lot of people trying to attempt to pass, but it really seemed hard to just complete the pass, and you just couldn't get it done going down on the low line.
Yeah, I felt the same way. Passing was a premium. Track position was a premium too, and so you had to balance. When you're going to pit, what everybody else is going to do, because you didn't want to fall all the way back there. It was really hard to pass. If you got to run on the high side, you could get it done, but when you're down low, you need a little bit of help, a little bit of luck. But yeah, it was definitely hard out there today.
Yeah, it just seemed like it was hard, like pretty much the whole race. So I'm sure it's worn everybody out. I did a little practicing with you guys too, and I noticed the pit lane on cold tires was really sketchy.
Yeah, coming off a pit lane, especially if something I was thinking about when we're going there for the green flag stops was be careful on the exit. I didn't want to ruin a good pit in by spinning on the exit of the pits or bringing out a caution or anything else, ruining my race. So yeah, it was sketchy coming out. You had to be careful. You could loop it really easily, and it would bite you if you weren't careful.
Yeah, absolutely. We saw it happen to a couple of guys. Well, Chris, congratulations on getting on that podium and surviving this tough one. And we will hopefully see you and talk to you next week.
Yeah, hopefully. I think we're in Kansas, or if I'm not mistaken, and definitely a track I like. So hopefully we'll put on a good show.
Absolutely. So there you go, Sean.
Well, Richie, thank you. That means now I get to talk to Dan Guerin. Dan, how you doing, buddy?
Oh, that was a long race.
Yes, it was. It was a long race for everybody involved. But you got a podium. You're not going to get the championship, unfortunately, because, well, Adam wrapped it up tonight. But, man, you're not going to miss out on this championship for the lack of trying, buddy.
Congrats to Adam on the win and the championship both there. He deserves it. He did have a pretty good year. I was hoping for a lot better than I did this year. I just got caught up and had some stupid mistakes early on, like I always do, and just have to try to claw back from it and just always end up short on the deal. But that's all right. I still got a few races left here. Hopefully I can just stick around and take second place.
Well, and maybe even rattle off a couple of wins before you close this chapter in your iRacing career out. You take some time away after this season, as you announced here a couple weeks ago, which quite honestly made me a little sad. So anyway, because I've enjoyed watching you for all these many years, Dan. But tonight, New Hampshire, really tricky track. We talked about it in the pre-race. We talked about it all race. It wound up getting tricky with the fuel there at the end. How much were you having to save, bud?
Well, I didn't have very much. I had like 0.2, so I didn't have very much left there. I had enough to coast around the rest of the way. But I appreciate you being a fan, calling all the races and everything. You definitely a stellar person here on the GSRC team. Hopefully I can pick up at least one more win. If I don't, so be it. I got my first win at Kansas. We head back there next week, so hopefully some good stuff there. Auto Club, I have a few wins there, so cross my fingers I might have maybe one more.
Well, listen, Dan, we'll maybe I don't know, maybe somebody will give you a Harley Davidson or something on your way out the door. I don't know, maybe not. But it's been fun covering your races, man. Listen, Kansas, it's going to be fun. You get a chance to be fast and be up front, and scary things can happen on those 1.5 mile tracks. Are you looking forward to it?
Yeah, for the most part. It's been a long season, just kind of just going down on me here. And as I said, I won Kansas my first season, and it's one I love. I really do like Kansas a lot, and I'm hoping to get another win there. We'll see, but we'll try to see what we can do.
Well, Dan, we'll try and see what we can do as well. We'll hold a good thought, a positive vibe for you, my friend, and maybe you'll get a couple of wins here before this is all said and done with. But thank you for this evening, and again, congratulations on the podium finish. We'll see you next week in Kansas, buddy.
Thanks, Sean. See ya.
All right, and that is Dan Guerin. And well, folks, it's time for us to wrap this up. And first, I want to thank First Medical Equipment. They've been the source for medical supplies and equipment in the Burlington, Iowa area for years because of their superior commitment to provide the absolute best product quality and customer service.
Sim Experience, the team behind AccuForce Pro V2 direct drive steering systems, by providing unparalleled realism and the most advanced tuning features on the market. The AccuForce provides a significant advantage to any sim racer. It can also make for an effective training tool for real-world drivers as well. For more information on the entire Sim Experience ecosystem, including their GS5C, Stage Series motion systems, and Sim5 software, visit simexperience.com and use the promo code SimXLion to get 5% off all Sim5 software.
All right, Richie, and Butt Kicker, of course, their products add instant immersion to any game. Unlike a subwoofer that moves air, Butt Kicker products move actual mass producing a haptic immersion that's powerful and accurate. Now, Butt Kicker products add that missing driver to car connection, bringing more realism and immersion to your sessions. See all the family of products at thebuttkicker.com When you get there, use the promo code LION25. You'll get 25% off of your order there.
To contact any of the sponsors you see on the screen right now, go to LionheartRacingSeries.com, click on 2019 sponsors, read or scroll to the bottom where you can click on the company logo. The original music on every GSRC broadcast comes courtesy of June Lalonde. See the screen for how to contact her. On the screen now are just some of the company's equipment and software that made this broadcast possible. The Lionheart IndyCar Series returns in 1 week, November 20th for round 23 from Kansas Motor Speedway. GSRC and IESN will be there to bring you all the action. We hope you join us.
Hey, Richie, I'm going to go off script here just a little bit for a second because we talked about Dustin Wardlow earlier, and I know I'm hoping you got your candies. I'm hoping Amjad got his.
I did.
I know several of us got candies from Dustin there at DeWar's Candy. Dustin has been with that operation for a very, very long time. But folks, don't miss out on DeWar's Candy, okay? DeWars.com, DEWARS.com. Go check out their fine candy. It's folks, it's going to be Thanksgiving here in a couple weeks. Christmas is coming up. You want these. Trust me, okay? You really, really just order the 1 pound box if you're just curious, okay? Get the sampler, the 1 pound sampler. You won't be disappointed. Now, on screen, of course, we've got upcoming broadcasts. Check those out. All right, we want you to mark them down in your calendar. Come show up for your favorite ones. We'd love to see you. If you'd like more information about GSRC, including a complete list of our future broadcasts, you can start with our website at globalsimracingchannel.com. Folks, we're on YouTube. Give us a sub. Get us over at Facebook. Just type in Global Sim Racing Channel. You'll find us there. Not a problem. Twitter at GSR Channel. If you're not with us on Twitter, why not? And on Instagram, same thing. Join us on the gram. GSRC_gram. And folks, if you haven't subscribed to IESN yet, please do. Okay, do that now before you leave. Now, finally, on behalf of everybody that made this broadcast possible this evening, the great Richie Hearn, I'm Jed Yaman, Dougie Beard. I'd like to thank all of you for watching. Adam Blocker get the win tonight in the Skid Mark 200 at New Hampshire Motor Speedway. With that said, we're going to go off and storm the castle for old buddy Soup. So until next time, race clean, race hard, and we'll see you all on the track.